Alright, Brush Monkeys, welcome back. And this week we are painting this pumpkin-headed Bugbear from Reaper Miniatures. This was part of their 2021 Halloween, what they call a ghoulie bag. And it's, if you order, X amount of dollars from them around Halloween, around certain holidays, they send out a little bag of extra stuff. Like sometimes around Christmas there'll be a bag of 2 or 3 paints and some candy and a Krampus miniature. For Halloween it was this guy and a couple of extra paints and yeah, so, and again some candy. This little treat bag they send out if you order over like $40 or something like that. Reaper Miniatures is great for that kind of thing. So as you can see, this guy's got a pumpkin for a head, and he's got some other little pumpkins growing on his back there. And other than that, he's just kind of a mean-looking, bugbear-looking guy. So I think he's going to be some fun to paint. I'm going to get started on him and come back and see how he looks. All right, see you soon. Bye. Okay, we've made some progress on our weird little guy here. As you can see, I got the pumpkins done and the little patch of grass and vines and stuff on him. All done. That's all Absolution green with a little niblet green dry brush. I think that came out really well. And the pumpkins were P3 Bogran Brown topped with Vallejo Game Color Dwarf Skin. It's a nice combination of orange colors there. I was going to give it a wash of Fuegan Orange from Citadel, but I don't think it's really necessary. I think the definition got brought out by that Bogran Brown in between the spaces there. So I think it looks really good. The inside of the mouth is Vallejo model color, Reaper Master Series Golden Blonde with the dry brush of Praxetti White to kind of mimic that sort of yellowish white interior of pumpkins. And I think that came out really good. Also went ahead and did the handle, or did the blade of his little sickle there with blackened steel with a dry brush of Necron Compound along the edge, and then an all over dry brush of Rise of Rust to make it look good and rusty and old. So up next is the body and fur of this guy. Actually, the body is going to be Gore-Grunta fur, and then the fur is going to be Cygor Brown. I think that's going to look really good on him. And be a nice counterpoint to the green and orange of the pumpkins. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that, and then we'll come back and see how he looks. All right, see you soon. Bye. Alright, so I got the Gore-Grunta fur down on this guy, and it's already looking pretty spiffy. I really like how that looks on his skin. I think the Cygor Brown, being a darker brown, is going to look really good on that fur. I may give it a dry brush of some Sylvaneth bark when it's done. Just kind of bring out that texture a little bit, but I think that's going to look really good with that dark brown on there as a counterpoint to the bright orange and green of his little pumpkin patch. So I'm going to give this a few minutes to dry, and then I'm going to go do the fur parts, and then we'll come back and see how he looks. All right, see you soon. Bye. All right, I got the Cygor Brown down on this guy, and that looks exactly the way I hoped that was going to look next to the Gore-Grunta fur skin. That looks really fantastic. I love how that turned out. And it does showcase the orange and greens really nicely. So I'm going to let that dry. Then we're going to do the handle of his sickle here. Most of the handle is going to be AP hardwood, but that little bit on the end there is going to be wraith bone with a little bit of pallid bone on it to kind of bring out that bone color. And then, of course, when the Cygor Brown dries, we'll dry brush it with the Sylvaneth bark. And I think that's going to look really nice. But I'm really happy with how that looks. I think that's a nice contrast of browns on the guy and showcases the orange and green really nicely. So he's coming along pretty well. I like him. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so his sickle handle is done, and he's got that little bone pommel on there. It looks really good. Also dry brushed his fur with the dry brushed his fur and a little bit of his skin with the Sylvanus bark. You can't hardly see it on the skin, but it does make a difference on like the knuckles on his fingers and a little bit on the shoulders there. Looks really good. Also went ahead and did the Fuegan orange in the grooves between the sections of the pumpkins, just to make that stand out a little bit more. I think it looks really fantastic. I really like how he's turning out. Ooh, excuse me. So I've really only got his base left to do. And that cobblestone part of the base I'm going to do in Black Templar with a Dawnstone dry brush, and then the grass all the way around it, the texture paste all the way around it will be Absolution green with a Niblet green dry brush, and then a dark green base band. I think that green is going to make a nice counterpoint to the green on the upper part of them, and I think it's going to look really fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and do the base, and the next time you see this guy, he'll be completely finished. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, just a quick update before I wrap things up here. I took a little bit of Casadora Yellow wash, thinned it down, and did the inside of the mouth with that, just to kind of... I felt like the pale yellow and the white was kind of washing out on camera. I think that gives a little more texture to the inside of the mouth. I'll probably go back over it with the Praxetti white and or maybe some Hexios Pale Sun, and dry brush that again just to kind of tone it down a little bit. But there's the base, as you can see, with the Black Templar on the stones and the Absolution green on the rest. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll do the Dawnstone dry brush on the stones and the Niblet green on the grass, and do the base band, and probably whatever I choose to do inside the mouth there. And then the next time you see this guy, he'll be completely done. So he's coming along pretty nicely. I really like how he turned out, and I will see you soon. Bye. Alright, there is our finished pumpkin-headed Bugbear from Reaper Miniatures. It's kind of a silly little mini, and it was a really quick paint, but I think he came out really well, and I'm really happy with him. I think he looks fantastic. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom here. If you like what you see, click like down below, and if you want to be notified when new videos get posted, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to support us in any way, check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We're on all those platforms. If you see a miniature on the site that you want to make one of your own, hit me up on Instagram. I can quote you a price for that. And if you want any Flying Monkey Studios merchandise, like t-shirts, things like that, hit me up on storefrontier.com/flyingmonkeystudios and get all your merch there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.